All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week of our weekly football media luncheon here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff in the Black and Gold Room next to the L.A. Davis Cafeteria. My name is Habtam Khalida, Sports Information Director for UAPB, and we'll get rolling. Of course, you guys heard the exciting week this past weekend, a game that nobody will forget against Jackson State. And before I speak too much on it, we will introduce our head coach, Monte Coleman, head coach of the mighty football Golden Lions. Yes, indeed. He's got two students with him here, student athletes, defensive end Tashad Charity of Norfolk, Virginia.
Nice to meet everyone.
All right, and also offensive lineman David Aduo from Grand Prairie, Texas.
Hello.
Wonderful. Love to have you guys here, and we appreciate everybody coming out to support our football team. All right, Coach Coleman, if you could give us a brief recap of this weekend's exciting overtime victory against Jackson State.
Well, last week I opened my conversation with a shout out to the Cowboys. I won't this week because they won last evening. So forget the Cowboys. How about those Golden Lions? It was a good football game all around for us. It was definitely a hard football game. Jackson State was definitely prepared to play us. In my hearts of hearts, I think they were a little underestimated us, but I think they looked from last year and thought maybe it would be the same team. But that's their problem. We're a different football team this year. And I just have to commend our football team because it took all phases, offense, defense, and special teams to pull that game out. Now, the thing that I was most impressed with was the resilience of our football team. They never gave up. Even though we came out a little slow the third quarter, you could see on the sideline, you could hear on the sidelines, guys rooting for each other. Whichever team that was on the field, the other guys were on the sideline, they were rooting for them. And we didn't have a lot of that last year, so it leaves me extremely optimistic with the way we're going with this football team. Total different team with the duo and with Charity. These guys are doing a great job leading. Charity is a senior. Aduo has one more year. He's a junior college transfer. Both are junior college transfer, but Aduo has one more year with us, and they're doing a great job. And that's what it's going to take. We played two FBS schools in Akron and Arkansas State, and I had a guy say, well, it gets easier, but each week it doesn't get any easier with the SWAC. It's going to be a hard-fought football game down to the wire each week. And we'll start preparation for Alabama A&M. It is their homecoming. Just like last week, we went into hostile territory. It will be even more hostile this week. They came off a big win against Texas Southern last week, and it's going to be their homecoming, so I'm sure they're going to be fired up and ready to go. And the thing that we got to do is not match their intensity, see if they can match our intensity, and that's the preparation that we'll be putting in this week as we travel to Huntsville. Thank you.
Wonderful, Coach. I have one question before we get started from the audience. Entering the fourth quarter, trailing by 11 on the road, not really a good chance to win in most games, but what did you tell your team? How did you keep them together and focused to come back for that victory?
That's a good question. I really didn't have to say anything. It's like I said in my opening comments, I looked around the sidelines. A lot of times when you're down by 11 late in a game, teams kind of give up. We never gave up. There was something about that sideline that indicated that, hey, we're going to win this football game. Now, one of the biggest plays that nobody probably remember, but we've got a young man by the name of Sims. He's a wide receiver. Lee Earl threw a pass, and it should have been intercepted, but Sims actually turned into the defensive back and actually deflected the ball from the DB. If he intercepts that ball, it's late in the fourth quarter, the game's over. There's no question. One of the biggest plays that we had, but that just shows you the importance that the guys are carrying each day in practice and on game day, saying that, hey, we'll bend a little, but we're not going to break. And that makes me, as a head coach, very proud to be coaching these guys.
Beautiful, beautiful. And if you can give us a brief preview of the upcoming game this weekend, and then we'll take questions from the audience.
Well, like I said, Alabama A&M, this is their homecoming. They chose us for a reason. We were 1-10 last year, and I truly believe that's the reason why we were chosen. You normally don't have homecoming in September. Most places, it's a little later, but opportunity, and they took advantage of the opportunity to play us so they can possibly try to get the win. They're coming off a huge victory against Texas Southern last week. They beat them 30-13, I think it was. They ran the football extremely well. They threw the football extremely well. Very talented. Coach Spady and his coaching staff is doing a great job with that football team. And the thing that we want them to do as we go in preparation today is, as we prepare, they've got to match our intensity. The thing that we've got to do is we've got to start fast and we've got to finish. And that's the thing that we're harping to the players right now, that it's got to be a 60-minute football game, just like it was on past Saturday. 60 minutes. 59, we have the chance of losing. We've got to play 60 minutes of tough, hard-nosed, Golden Lion type football. And I feel very confident going into this football game if we can do that.
Wonderful, Coach. Okay, at this moment, we'll open up the questions for the media. OC, if you want to start.
Commercial, how you doing, Coach?
Good, OC.
All right, now first off, getting a big overtime victory like that, would you call that a program victory? And could you talk about how big it goes for the confidence for you guys going forward?
You know, and I mentioned it last week, OC, maybe one of your questions or one of the questions that was asked. You know, the confidence actually came the 2 weeks before. The Akron game and the Arkansas State game. I thought we fared decent in both of those games, and it gave us the confidence to say that if we can play with these guys, we can definitely play in the SWAC. Not taking anything away from any of the SWAC schools. It still is a tough schedule that we've got, but it gave us the confidence to win in overtime, to win the way we won late in the fourth quarter, down by 11, to be able to come back and win that football game in overtime also gave us confidence. Guys are chomping at the bit. We lifted weights this morning at 6 o'clock. Guys talked to Coach Coggins, our strength conditioning coach. He said they were enthused. They did everything he asked them to do, a little bit different than they had been, and that's encouraging, that the guys are buying in. Everybody's pulling for each other, and it should be a good football game.
All right. One thing I noticed that Coach went with the quarterback change towards the end of the third quarter there. Could you just talk about that going forward? Stay that way, or is like still start?
Well, you know, the thing I don't do is I don't micromanage my coaches. Coach White wanted to change Brandon. It's not because Brandon was playing so bad. He just thought that we needed a little spark. And Lee Earl came in and did a tremendous job for us. Lee Earl is extremely athletic, and he has the ability to run the ball. He's a dual threat quarterback. So he wanted to change. We made that change, and Lee Earl came in and actually played a good football game. I thought Brandon played well with exception to the one interception. I thought he played pretty good. He managed the game for us. But we've got two real good quarterbacks that may be a part of our ingredient here on out to let these guys sub each other. We do it in all the other positions, so we just might at the quarterback position. But I think we'll see Brandon at the starting position again this week.
Okay. Now for you, Mr. Chair, the defense had a few big stops there, including fourth turnover on fourth and short there. Could you just talk about how you guys are coming along as a unit and how you progress as the season has gone along?
As far as the defense, we're very sound, very physical and aggressive, and we tend to, play our chemistry. So therefore, the more we buy in, the more we listen to each other and listen to our coaches, we're going to keep this train rolling and win the SWAC.
All right, and for you, Mr. Adu, 5 new offensive linemen, can you just talk about the continuity of the line as the weeks go along, how you guys are getting better with each other?
Yeah, because we're all new to the program, so we still got to find, just getting used to playing with each other. Because we understand one thing, as long as we all 5 do our job, our playmakers are going to make the plays, because we have to have faith in them.
Now, Coach, like you say, the guys might have underestimated you guys this past weekend. Maybe you're not going to sneak up on nobody else in the swag. Can you just talk about this, getting prepared for the next week?
I also said last week, I really don't worry about other teams, what they're doing. I want my team to prepare. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to do what we do. And I agree with you. I don't think we'll be able to, I don't know if we snuck up on Jackson State or not, but I know we won't be able to sneak up on anybody else. So we got to prepare. You know, one of the other good things that happened in this game, we came out injury-free. If I think back to last year, we had a huge overtime victory over Alcorn. But we suffered because we lost, I think, 2 offensive linemen. We lost a linebacker. We lost several guys in that game that was out for the season. We've made it through 4 football games. We've got a couple of guys that's out, but we lost nobody that played this past week. Do they have some bumps and bruises? Absolutely. But none are injured to the point that they can't play no more. So that's huge. So to answer your question, yeah, you know, I don't really worry about what A&M does. It's my job and the coaching staff job is to get our guys prepared to go into hostile territory and play our type football. If we can play our best and they can beat us, then we'll take our hat off to them. The thing that we don't want to do is give them a football game. And that starts today in practice.
Looking at A&M, I know they lost a lot on defense, and they're going with a freshman starter at quarterback. What have you guys seen on film from them?
That freshman's pretty good.
Yeah, the freshman's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
Could you just talk about what you're saying on them from film?
Watching him, he throws a deep ball very well. He can make all the throws. I think Coach Spady said yesterday he's only 18 years old. He is a freshman, true freshman. He's a big kid. He can run the football. They don't run him quite as much, but he has the ability to run, which he ran against Texas Southern. Have a real good running back. And like I said, he throws any throw. He can throw the out, he can throw the curl, he can throw the deep ball. And he's got 2 receivers, number 6 and number 8, that can flat out run. So it's going to be a good football game. The thing that we've got to do is every man has to do his job. And if we help each other, then after we do our job, then we have the ability to go help somebody. But we've got to do our job first. So it's going to be a challenge for us. Yes, sir.
Test. I don't know if it's working or not, but I'm going to stand close to my cameras for TV purposes.
Yes, sir.
Tim Stubbs, UAPB-TV Sports. You stole my thunder, my line, by the way, about the Cowboys and how about the Golden Lions. I thought of it last night, but
Do we have
anyway,
else with
it's
any
all
other
good.
questions?
It's all good, Coach. On a serious note,
Yes.
last year, it seems third quarter we were kind of snake bit, and maybe even the last couple of years, where your squad was really competitive in the first half, and for whatever reason, third quarter just kind of got ambushed, and the wheels came off quickly. This was really encouraging to see on the road at Jackson State, tight first half, and come out and play so well in the second half. Talk about that a little bit and what that does for your confidence.
Actually, we didn't play very well in the third quarter. We scored 0 points in the third quarter. Defense played pretty good because we held them, I think, to 10 points third quarter. But that's one of the things that we tossed around on Sunday in our staff meeting. What do we need to do? Last year, it was a problem third quarter. So we suggested that we'll get them energy bars. So we went out, we bought hundreds of energy bars and gave them energy bars, Snickers and all that kind of stuff at halftime, so it gives them energy when they come back out. It didn't work. So this year we're tossing around. We said, well, maybe we won't even go in for halftime. We just stay on the field. I don't know. We're tossing things around because we've got to be able to come back out with a high intensity third quarter. You know, you go in, you get a Gatorade, it's cool in the locker room. All the adrenaline that you've had built up that first half is now kind of subsided. Now you've got to go back out and get it back up again. So we're tossing some things around. There's some teams, I think Texas Tech, they do like bull in the ring coming out. I think that's a little excessive, but I don't think we'll do that. But we are tossing around to see what we need to do to make sure that when we come back out third quarter, that we can start fast. It played just like I wanted it to. We won the toss in this particular game against Jackson State. I deferred. I wanted us to do well going in after the second quarter and then get the ball back third quarter, which we did, but we came out and it was 3 and out for us, and they were able to drive on us and get a touchdown on defense. I think that's very important. You know, when I was with the Redskins, that's one of the things that Joe Gibbs used to tell us. He said, we've got to win the first few minutes of third quarter, being offense or defense, and that's what we're struggling with right now, but we'll get it ironed out. I can assure you of that.
Your teams have had some success in overtime last couple of years. Go through that process of overtime. You get the field goal late, I believe 15 seconds left by Gillen to tie it. I know you got to be feeling pretty good.
Yes.
Not only to be in the game, but now you've tied it. Now you're going to overtime. It's Jackson State. There's a little bit of nostalgia there in itself, going back to 2012. But talk about the overtime, how that went down. You got the 2 big sacks, one to end the game. Go through the overtime process.
Yeah, that was an exciting time. You know, we want to win the toss. Any team that wins the toss, generally what they do is put the defense, the opposing, they want to go on defense. So if we would have won the toss, we'd have gone on defense first. They won the toss, they went on defense. The offense did an excellent job driving to score. Now they've got to match us, a touchdown. So now they've got to match us. A field goal won't do it. They've got to get a touchdown. All right, so we score. Now they're on offense. The defense, it was pretty. If I have to say so myself, it was lights out. Their first play was a -2 yards. They threw a little bubble screen. They lost yardage on that, and then Mr. Charity and his boys just went crazy. They didn't give him any, not crazy, but they played extremely well. Didn't give their quarterback any breathing room. They may have sacked him a couple, 2 times, and after that, the game was over. You could sense it during that stand by the defense, and it all started with the offense. It started with Jamie kicking the 33-yard field goal, then the offense getting the opportunity to go down and score. We did, and then the defense came in and played lights out.
And defense pretty much pitching a shutout. Second half on into overtime, and that's huge. And that was a little bit what I was talking about in the third quarter. There were times last year, right off the bat, you look up and they've scored 3 touchdowns on you in 5 minutes, it feels like, and it gets out of hand. But I know confidence-wise it was huge. Like you said, team was already in there 6 a.m. lifting weights. That's got to be such a boost to open up conference play on the road as you're still in this stretch of 4 straight road games. Another big one coming up, Alabama A&M. Talk about that going into this week after such a big win. And things start to set up a little friendlier for you. Still got to go out there and get it done, but talk about that a little bit.
Well, I see Mr. Hardy in the audience. We don't want to ever play 4 road games again. It's been tiring. It's been tiring, but the guys have been great players. Each week getting on the bus or the plane and with the right attitude. And going in to play Alabama A&M, which will be the last of our road trips, of the 4 road trips, nothing's changed. After the game, we met Sunday, like I said, in the meeting, in our staff meeting and in our team meeting. Everybody is rooting for each other. We had a whole lot of unsung heroes. I mentioned Sims, the play that he made, Jamie, the kick that he made, the offensive line, Charity had, 2 sacks. I think he led the team in tackles. Jalen Stewart played extremely well. So those are the things that we're looking at going into Alabama A&M this weekend. We're going to build off everything that we did well. We're going to get better in the things that we didn't do well. And it's going to be a dogfight. We know it's going to be a dogfight. A&M has been a good football team for a lot of years. Coach Beatty does a good job coaching. And it's going to be a dogfight. We're not looking at it being a long trip. You know, it really doesn't matter. We'll play them in the street on University if they want to. It doesn't matter, or whatever the name of their street. We just want to go and play football. The guys are highly enthused, and that's what we need to be. OC mentioned about momentum. I think a game like we played last weekend gives us the momentum to keep on going. And I think everybody is hungry to keep going.
The 2-quarterback system, is that something you kind of already had in your mind going into the game? Is there if we need it, or was it just a gut feeling? Just talk about that a little bit. Is it something we might see more of, or are you gonna? Is Duncan still the #1 guy?
Duncan is still the #1 guy. It was a gut feeling that Coach White had, the offensive coordinator, wanted to do it. We made that decision, and it paid off in our favor. Is it something that we'll do more of? There's a possibility. We've even have used Lee Earl Patterson as a wildcat quarterback. And with his running ability, he also can throw the football extremely well. He's very educated on the offensive playbook. So to change it up a little bit, we very easily could do it. But right now, Brandon is still our #1 man.
All right. Well, great win, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, any more questions from the media? We'll move on to the audience. We'll take in questions from the audience. All right, no questions. Yeah, no questions from the audience. Before we close, we've got, Coach, if you could explain travel plans whenever you guys plan to head out to A&M. And we'll have 1 giveaway, or 2 giveaways for tickets before we close out the coaches' luncheon and eat lunch. But if you'll explain it to them.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Each week we have, we'll come in on Sundays, we'll work Sundays, the guys lift weights and they'll run, we'll watch the film from the previous day, and we'll close it out. Sunday's our closeout day. Monday, they're off on Mondays, and we have 2 hard days that we're in full pads. Tuesday's a hard day, Wednesday is a hard day. Then we'll come back Thursday in shells where we'll have shoulder pads and shorts, and that's a polish day. We're making all our corrections that day. Hopefully, there's not many. And then on Friday, we'll travel. This week going to Alabama, it's a long trip. It's about 7, maybe 8-hour drive by bus. We're going to leave. We'll load the buses at 7 a.m. and depart at 7:30. And we'll have a long day. We'll stop on the way. We'll practice at one of the high schools, and we'll get guys some lunch, and we'll check into the hotel, and we'll start our meetings and bed check that evening, and in preparation for the game the next day. Now, it's going to be a little bit different. All of our games thus far has been a 6 o'clock game or later. This will be a 2 o'clock game, so we'll get to bed. We'll get up the next morning, and by the time we get up and eat, it's time to play. So it's going to be an exciting weekend for us. It's going to be a real good football game.
Wonderful. We appreciate you. Congratulations, Coach. Fantastic victory players. Y'all earned it, every bit of it. So hats off to the Golden Lions. All right, who's ready to win some tickets? No question, huh? All right, Khalees, if you can draw our first ticket, please.
I'll read the last 3, 257.
257.
257.
We've got a winner somewhere in here.
We didn't get tickets.
You forgot the front, huh? 257, we've got a winner. Okay.
Coach Cox.
Hey, Coach, way to go. Way to go. That's first one. There you go. There you go. TyRece might be next. We'll see. All right, congrats, Coach Coggins.
Way to go, Coach Cox.
And we've got one more ticket giveaway from Kalisa. Or those, oh, okay, it was a one package deal. Gotcha. Well, go see Coach Coggins if you'd like to get a free ticket for this weekend's games. And we invite everybody to come to Alabama A&M this weekend for their homecoming game at 2 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thank you.